Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of Bones of the Story. Today, we are going to be talking about tropes and kinks, which, if you've been with us so far, you know that we've kind of hinted at throughout the last two seasons. And so, Jen and I, as usual, are just gonna wing it. I feel like we do our best
Yep.
work when we wing it.
Yes. And I have not had a single sip of my coffee yet. So not only we're winging it, but I'm currently decaffeinated.
I
So this
love
should
this
be interesting.
so much. Okay. So I think we kind of explained in the romance terminology about what a trope and a kink is. So a trope is generally like the theme, or what else did we say? We didn't say topic. Maybe we should have listened to that episode before we started recording this.
Nah, it's fine.
And
Everything's
then, of
fine.
course, a kink is some kind of, more times than not, sexual preference.
Yeah.
Right? I think a kink can only be a sexual preference. Maybe 90% of the time. A kink is something that brings you joy and pleasure.
According to dictionary, a person's unusual sexual preference.
Which is everything outside of missionary, right? And put
I
the lights on.
mean, yeah.
So we need something that's above a level of a kink then for half the stuff that we read. Okay.
Seriously, it's like kinkiness is the use of non-conventional sexual practices, concepts, or fantasies. I'm like,
That's got to be old
okay.
school.
I mean, well, I could get behind it, I guess. It just opens up a whole new can of worms. Because, yeah, this should be fun.
Well, I want you to carry on your thought.
I
Oh,
don't know.
God.
I'm just like, I guess I get it. Like, I'm thinking, you know, I don't know. I need coffee.
Wait, what are you drinking?
Coffee?
Oh, but it's decaffeinated coffee?
No, that was literally my first sip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it. This was my first sip of coffee. So currently decaffeinated. By the time this is finished, I'll be caffeinated.
Okay, so I guess I don't know. Should we start with favorites or least favorites, or what pulls us into a book, or
Sure. I like it.
dragons?
What about dragons?
That's my
Like,
favorite
do you have.
trope. And what
Oh,
will pull
trope. Okay.
me into a book quicker than anything is
Yeah.
dragons, shapeshifters, omegaverse, reverse harem, and mafia. Speaking of reverse harem, I had a thought the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So a reverse harem is where the main female character is the one person that they all boing and fall in love
Mm-hmm.
with. And a harem is where it's just one male and the rest are female. What is it called if all of them are male? Or if all of them are female? Is there a name for that? Or is that just where we get all the letters? Because I just read, I would call it, I need to call it some kind of harem because there's
Well,
one.
wouldn't it just be a poly relationship at that point then? Because unless, yeah, it would just be a poly relationship, right?
So what I read last night, which isn't the book that we're supposed to be reading, but
I didn't read
the
it all. Oh, yes, I did. I listened to a book. Also, not what we're supposed to be reading.
it was the main character, love interest, is a male. And then he has 3 bodyguards. And so they all boink together, but then 2 of the bodyguards also boink. But it's not a harem, it's not a reverse harem. On the tag of the book, it just said MM plus.
Yeah, I would just say that's a poly relationship.
Okay.
That's my vote anyway.
So yeah. Okay. I was like, what do I call this? MM plus? Like,
MM plus.
well, the other one that I reread the other day, yes, I did do a reread instead of reading our book. It was
It's
again
okay.
4 male characters, and they were all boinking each other. Well, 3 of them boink each other, and then one of them boinks all 3 of them. But I don't think the 3 of them ever boink the main dude. Wait, why are we giggling?
I just need this episode to come with a warning label. Like, take a shot for every time Misty says blank.
I don't know why I'm saying that. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh my god.
Okay, what are your favorite tropes?
My favorite tropes. It's a good question.
Oh, I just thought of two more.
Okay, you can go.
Were there in the like academy setting, like it's new adult, young adult? I really like that.
The only thing I hate more is high school.
Yeah.
I
I
can't.
mean, I can do.
I can't.
I don't know. One of my favorite Alien series. They're in high school. It's a reverse harem. Alien romances are my guilty pleasure. Like, I don't care how, it's like a cheesy sci-fi movie. Like, it doesn't matter how like horrible it is, you're still watching it because you're invested in it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is gonna happen? How are they using these graphics? Oh my gosh, that's so cheesy. I love a good alien romance.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can't think of what you like, obviously we know one of the ones that you stay away from.
Yeah, I can't stand high school. I can do some of like the new adult that you and I have read. I've liked okay. But high school is just I either they're either too immature for me to enjoy it, or they are portrayed as being like running the town and having that maturity level. But no way in hell, as a 34-year-old woman, would I let some dinky ass 18-year-old shitbag kid tell me what's happening in my town. Unless it's like a positive thing.
Yeah.
I struggle, I guess, with like suspending belief with some of the tropes or whatever, because I'm just like, this is so fucking dumb. I cannot.
I don't like it when
I can't.
I don't like it when they put the ages. I would rather not know. I don't even know how old they are. I'm assuming whatever I'm reading, they're all of legal consent. And that's all that
Well, they
matters.
better be. Yeah.
I might have read some touch and go ones. I'm pretty sure.
Doesn't surprise me. Okay, so tropes I like. Anytime like one of the people have a dog. Like, I love it. I don't know if that's a trope or not, but like there
It's
was
one
an
that
Abby
we're
Jimenez.
inventing right now.
Do what?
It's one you're inventing right now. Pet trope. The main characters have to have
Yeah.
pets.
Yes, I love it so much. Like my very first Lucy Score book, there's a pit bull named Kevin, and he was so cute. So that's definitely one of my favorites, because I mean, if a man is like taking care of something outside of himself and like brings it, bring his dog with them and like takes great care of it, and it's such a green flag. And then let me think, what other tropes? Enemies to lovers. It's so cliche, but man, when the enemies start lovering, it just makes me happy.
That's a good one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. Let me think, what else? Anytime like the main female character is the driving force of the plot. So like whether it's a revolution or finding out her magic or going to war or whatever that looks like. What? Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I had a thought as you were speaking about how we're really different, but I'll let you finish and then I'll share my giggle.
No, it's a giggle.
You're over here like talking about like really great things, really important things, like a main female lead and like pets, and I'm over here talking about omegaverse and dragons and mafia.
I mean, light and fluffy, dark and twisted. It totally like is in alignment with who we are as people.
And that just made me giggle as I was like, "Oh, I didn't think about, the driving force."
Okay,
I was just like, "What element?"
just give me some dragon dick, damn it.
Oh,
Oh,
I love you, Jen.
I love you, Misty.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, those are tropes. I think we'll probably, yeah.
I was trying to
I
find.
don't know. Whatever the trope is, where he like, maybe that's a kink. Yeah, that's a kink. Never mind. No, I think those are pretty much my favorite tropes. Like enemies to lovers. I pet trope, but like not in a weird way. Not furries, but like they have pets. Mm, strong female character, like where she's the driving force of the plot. I'm trying to think if there's any other tropes that I really. Ooh, I do kind of love a single dad trope, like a good
Really?
single dad trope. Yeah, yeah. I've read a couple of them. I'm just like, this is the cutest thing ever. Yeah, I love a good single dad trope.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this list.
Ooh, or the one where one of the characters, I don't know what kind of trope it would be, but like where one of the characters has like this big city life and is like an executive and makes a lot of money and like has this whole like fancy lifestyle, and then they go on vacation or they go on like a leadership exercise or something to like rural Montana, and he ends up falling in love with the woman who runs the ranch, and he's like, I'm giving up my city life to live the country life. And I'm just like, yeah, you are, because it's the best.
That's hilarious. Okay, I found it. Okay, sometimes I can't believe I'm gonna admit this out loud. I do read contemporary romance. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Not always,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like a maid, but then sometimes it's like a maid reverse harem. So I kind of like that. Or like they used to be like enemies in like high school, and I don't know who's that. There's this one chick who writes like really intense, sappy contemporary stuff. Catherine Maura, Maura.
Maura?
I really like her stuff.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure
I've
I have
ever
a
read anything of hers.
what does she have? I think she has like The Wrong Bride, or is that somebody else? She's got some good stuff. How the Catherine, Catherine. Catherine. I don't know how to spell Catherine. Maybe it's Ine. I couldn't find her name. What? Anyways, shared a list with us, between us. I'm telling you, what the fuck is her name? I can't move on. Oh, Catharina. Catharina. That's why I thought there was an A in there. She has the Off Limits series and the Windsor series. I know I've read more than 2 books by her. I'm pretty sure I thought I read all her stuff. I did read all of her stuff.
Interesting.
Why is the other stuff not coming up? Anyways, but it's kind of angst. I love angst. Like, ugh, the angst has got to be done right though. You can't have too little and you can't have too much, because I think I have read books in the past. I'm like, there was just too much. Like,
Yeah.
or it just wasn't done. Like, spoiler, one of our DNF books for this season, where like it was supposed to be angsty, or they were trying to make it angsty, but it wasn't.
What book was that?
The Unfated Mates.
Oh my god. That book.
We'll talk about that in the the wrap up. Yeah. So I mean, and people can get me with a good screenshot of a really great scene. Those teaser trailers, I know that's not what they're called, but that's what I call them. When they give me a screenshot of something, and then I need to know what led up to it and what happens after, I have to read it. I don't know. Okay, kinks.
Hmm.
Let's talk kinks. I'll read almost anything, and this is something that Jen and I have learned together as doing this, is that we do not like daddy kink.
Yeah, no.
But I'm
Mm-mm.
gonna take it a step further and say I don't like daddy kink if it's a male female, but if it's a male male, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Nope, don't like it then either.
You've read one with a male male?
Well, I mean,
It's not the same. It's not the same.
no, in Emerald Lakes, Kai with Thunder Daddy.
That's not a real. That wasn't real. Not to what I've read. That wasn't real.
Well, then I think that's the only daddy that's as close to daddy kink I've gotten with MM then.
That was just him, you know, fucking around with him. Like that wasn't. I wouldn't. That wasn't
Yeah.
real.
Okay.
Okay, I should rephrase. My personal opinion, that was not real.
Oh, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree.
Like, no, I'm talking like straight legit. Oh, Jen, I'm gonna open up your world.
I don't know. Don't know about this. I'm trying to think. I think Heat Stroke by Tessa Bailey was a bit of a daddy kink and it didn't bother me as much. I could be wrong.
I think it
I don't
also
know.
depends on how they do it, what's their reasoning. But I think we read, what did we read? Desperate Measures, was that it?
Oh, Desperate Measures was junk.
I mean, I
Just
loved it except
did
for
not.
that.
No, I just there was
I
too much of that for what it's a novella. It's not. I don't even know if it was 100 pages.
I don't remember how long it was.
It was really short.
Okay,
She
so this
said.
this next kink. I don't even know if it's a
What?
kink. I think it's a trope. I'm gonna be toggling back.
That's fine.
I don't I do not like when the main female character is a romance writer. Nothing
Yeah, that
will
would be a
get
trope.
me to stop reading or not even read if in the blurb, if I happen to read the blurb, because I don't always read all the blurbs,
Yeah.
that she's a romance author. I can't, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me.
I don't know why. I don't have a logical reason for it. I'm just, oh. But like any other
You know
superstar,
what
I got
kink?
no problem.
Oh,
No,
what'd you
you
say?
okay? I don't have a logical reason for it.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah,
what's
that's
yours?
okay. You know a kink that I now have that I've only read once, but I want to read it again? I want to get fact fucked.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna find that anywhere else.
I don't think we're ever gonna find it again.
No.
Also, that author posted a video the other day that she has a sticker now that says I've been fact fucked by Dr. or damn it, by Ranger or
Ranger?
something. Yeah.
Right.
Oh
That
my
might
god,
be a
I'm like,
sticker we have
yes.
to get.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, that's now a kink I didn't know I would ever have and definitely do. I need another like good Spencer Reed retelling.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. It could just be I feel like I've read something like that where I think they were studying and maybe he went down on her. But it would have been in an academy setting, but I couldn't tell you what it was. I know.
Okay, so kinks that so what are some kinks that you like?
I know the better question is what are the ones I don't like? And that's the
I
only
know that's the better question for me too.
Okay, yeah, I don't there's not a lot that I won't read. Honestly, I don't even read the trigger warnings or the content warnings, like,
I don't read them to
I
check my
like to be
triggers. I read them to
surprised.
see if they're gonna have the kinks that I like.
Um, I don't
It's like never mind.
No, what? Why are you giggling? We're giggle bugs today.
I know. No, I'm sitting here thinking like, you know, when I read a kink list or like a trigger warning list, I'm checking for like to see if it has the kinks that I like. I'm reading it more to see if it has everything I want to read and less about avoiding things. Oh, there's that.
Yeah.
The
There's
only kink that I really like, it's not that I'll still read the book, but I'll typically skip over where it's involved, is blood play kink. And we've read a few books that have it, and I just, no, just
yeah.
not my thing.
Yeah, even with the tropes that I don't like, if I get caught by something, I will still read it. I might not enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
There's not. Oh, you know what trope or kink? I don't even know what we're gonna call this. I don't even know if it fits into this conversation. I don't like when I can't tell if a book is in a series, if there are books that I need to read before or after. Is that a trope?
Mm. I just would imagine that's like author preference. I have no
I'm just
idea.
like, because if I find something that like I like, whether it's an ad, which don't even get me started on authors lying on ads, like that's the worst thing. Absolutely drives me crazy. If I read an ad for a scene and then I read the book and that scene isn't in there or it's not the same scene that was in the ad, I get very upset.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
But that's, I don't know how that evolves into a trope working. I mean, I'll read anything. Just tell me to read it, Jen. I'll read it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any kink. I mean, any. I'm trying to think how. I mean, my line. This sounds so bad, but like my lines are pretty far back in the sand. Like, I'm not going to read something that has necrophilia or something. Or,
But you read vampires.
no, I'm not having this discussion. Doesn't count. STFU. No, we're not doing that.
Okay. Like a corpse you like dig up out of the ground that's like only
Like,
bone.
I couldn't tell you what book it was because just the couple of creators that I saw talk about it, it was like, there's no way I could read it. But there was a book going around Book Talk a year or two ago, and they were saying it was the darkest thing they'd ever read. But what was described was so beyond the realm of being okay that I just couldn't, like, there's no way. And I don't even want to say it's a kink because, like, that's not a kink. That is
Mm-mm.
legitimately like, you should be in jail and rot there for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even know that was a thing in some books.
what?
Necrophilia.
Yeah, no, that's a hard line for me. Like, there's no. The closest you could ever get me would be like non-con deb-con on a legal adult. Like, outside of that, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go.
no, go ahead.
I think another line for us besides necrophilia is sentient objects. I will
Mm,
read almost anything, but I will not read about a door or a pillow. You read
how
the
about a
one about the
tree?
tree. Maybe the tree, I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. When he's talking about using leaves to spread her, nah.
I mean, at least
Nope.
the tree is a living, breathing thing. It's not a pillow or a door.
Well, that's true, but I think I read 50 something pages and it was just no. It was just no.
What is and then there's the one with the balloons. I don't know if people are having sex with the balloons or if it's balloons that are having sex with each other. If it's balloons having sex with each other, I would not mind. They're just a different type of alien, right? Like
Uh,
species,
I
creature.
mean,
But if it's
I'll give it
people,
to you, but no.
okay, but
It would pop.
it depends on how they're using it. I mean, because the condom is almost like a balloon.
But you're not blowing it up.
I
You're
don't know what
wrapping it
they're.
around.
I mean, maybe they don't.
Or, I can't. How is this what we're talking about at 7:30 in the morning on a Tuesday? Oh,
Because we like to torture ourselves.
apparently. Okay, so
And
let's talk
it's only
about.
6:30 for me.
Oh, yeah, true.
Squeak. How do you spell squeak? Quue.
AK, I think.
I just want to go on. Anyway, I'm going to read the blurb. I've never read the blurb to this. I don't know if it's two people. Squeak is a menage MMF balloon animal shifter omegaverse novella. See?
That's so much going on. Like, you can't just make it a regular one. You gotta add balloons.
So they shapeshift into balloon animals. Okay, I might have to read this.
That is.
It has over 1,000 reviews.
That's ridiculous.
How many pages is this? Oh, it's only 54 pages.
Well. Okay, so let's talk about, like, give me your top 5 favorite kinks.
Mafia is not a kink, right? You're probably going to have to tell me a lot of these things are not kinks, okay?
Yeah, mafia would be a trope.
I like nodding.
Okay.
I like praise.
Yeah.
I like the somophilia, whatever it is.
Really?
Yeah. Am I
Hmm.
saying that right?
Okay. Somnophilia, I think, is how you say it.
The sleeping
Yeah.
kink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is villain a kink?
I say that's a trope.
Okay. What's a book that we've read that has a lot of kinks?
The Four Horsemen had a lot of kinks.
Oh my gosh, it was trash. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, apparently I own the Squeak book. Okay, A to
Okay.
Z fetishes. Let's see. This is from the UK. Oh, I thought it was going to be a whole list. I didn't know that there's a acousticophilia, sexual
What the heck is?
arousal from specific sounds.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, is role playing a kink?
Role playing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's really. I didn't know that was a sexual kink or fetish. Requiring sexual partners of a vastly different height to you. It's ANASTEEMAPHILIA. I don't even know how to fucking say that word.
Okay. I'm sorry. Say that again.
There is a fetish for requiring sexual partners of a vastly different height to you. And it's ANASTEEMAPHILIA.
Okay.
Yeah. Glossary of kink terms you didn't want to know, but now will. Oh, I like it when the dragons or aliens or like whatever, when they have a I'm gonna say this word wrong, Pensincilia tail or whatever. What is it?
Oh, I know what you're trying to say. I can't say it right now either, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know. That's 4. Name some of yours, and I might come up with another one.
Okay, I'm trying to think of the top 5. So I like praise slash degradation, like when they're used together.
Mm-hmm.
Bondage is a big one, and it can be any type of bondage. I'm not particular on like the type, but just any is fine. Not picky. I love when, and I haven't actually read this in a lot of books, but I love the idea of orgasm denial in short time spans, like a week, 2 weeks, like I would say like up to a month. And it's kind of like what we were talking about with the as she's told, like there needs to be pleasure alongside
Mhm.
it. So I'm not into long-term orgasm denial, but that's definitely one. Impact play. I'm trying to think what else. What?
Apparently not technicals, tentacles is a type of kink.
Oh, I have that kink. I said that so loudly. And I was actually thinking about that earlier before you said that. I was going to say tentacles earlier. Freaking love tentacles, man.
I like edging.
Yeah. Yeah, edging kind of goes along. I mean, that's typically used whenever you do orgasm denial.
I think besides those two things, like I said, I'll read almost anything.
Yeah.
But, and was that 3 or 4 that you named?
Let me think. I did praise, degradation, bondage. What are my other ones?
Delayed gratification.
Impact.
Yeah. Delayed.
Yeah, orgasm denial. Yeah, so I did
Okay.
4, I think. Well, and then I was very confident in saying how much I like tentacles, so
That's your 5th
maybe
one.
that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, can I change my tropes? Instead of saying, like dragons and shapeshifters, can I just say monster/creatures? Do they
Oh,
fall
yeah, I don't
under?
care.
I mean, I'm assuming they fall under either one of those, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works for me.
I think the only thing I've ever really struggled to read, and it wasn't struggle, is okay. Actually, let me back up. What's the weirdest thing that you've read? I know you've already said it, but
The
I'm assuming
tree?
it's the tree. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So the
trying to think if
weirdest,
there's anything else. Yeah, I think
mm,
that's the weirdest.
I really had a hard time. I want to say with the spiders and the centaur. It's really hard to visualize what they're talking about when they're doing the
The
things they're
spiders
doing.
I didn't the spiders I didn't really struggle with so much. Probably because like the picture of it was on the cover. And I was like, yeah, I can kind of follow this. The one that I had a hard time like picturing like what the anatomy was and how it all worked was in Assault to Keep.
Oh, I had no problems with that whatsoever.
I was lost.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what else to talk about. Yeah. So my
Since we
tropes,
didn't
what were my tropes again? Monster/creatures, reverse
mm-hmm.
harem, omegaverse, mafia.
Is that it?
I think that might have been it.
I think that might have been it too.
We can't
Yeah.
even remember 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say academy? Was that a trope?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you did say academy. That's right.
And then the
And then
kinks
I grow.
were, yeah. I'll get you to love it eventually. You just got to read the right thing.
The only one that I liked that we have read so far is the Luna Wolf. I like that one. You probably don't even remember it. Luna Wolf, Nox Wolf.
No, I know what you're talking about. I feel like that was the
Oh,
worst one we ever read.
I liked it.
I'm glad that you enjoyed that though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
But I don't think we've read any other Academy settings that we finished. Bay Halls, we DNF'd. I would have DNF'd the ritual.
Bonds That Tie, which is in a college.
Yeah, but it's not like I don't feel like that counts. It's the series isn't built around the academy or college or whatever though.
The tag
I mean, I'll
team.
give it to you if you want it.
I don't just give it to me to give it to me. I gotta earn that shit, okay? We're talking about tropes and kinks here. You don't just give it to me, okay?
Oh my god.
But I mean, it's all about. I would consider that, if not it's not a big thing, but it's a small. I mean, college setting. One of her bonds is a teacher. The TAC team, I don't know.
I mean, sure. I just, I don't know. I don't really picture them like in a setting like that.
I'm going to pull up our list.
My list.
Well, first I was going to look at Madison Kate. That was probably not the best example. Flip Trick.
Yeah, but again, they were like in high school, but like they don't. You're not spending time in the high school
Okay,
or the college or whatever.
so we, but then the ritual wouldn't be considered an academy then.
Yeah, because the whole thing is through his fraternity, and she's going to classes, and she's living on like there's a whole lifestyle in the school at that point.
Bonds at tie. She's going to classes. She lives in a dorm.
When does she live in a dorm? She lives in
No,
Knox
she lives in
in
a dorm for
North's
like the first
mansion.
2 books, if not 3.
No.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm arguing with you. You've read it so much more than I have. I don't remember that at all.
Yes. The first
Doesn't
like
she?
2
No, she has a room at Knox and North's mansion.
yeah, later, but she lives in the dorm the first 2 or 3 books. It isn't until Atlas shows up when he takes her out of the dorm to his apartment that North forces her to move into the mansion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. Maybe. Okay,
That's
fine. I
okay.
guess I'll give you bonds then.
Just saying. I'm going off of what your requirements are. You said going to
Yeah.
classes and living in a dorm or on campus.
Fair.
And I think tropes and kinks are also subjective, right? Like just this conversation that we had about the academy, that's subjective, right? I consider bonds to be it. But you now that you do, I say in quotations probably because you're probably thinking in your head like, nah, I still don't believe this. But
No, I just forgot.
I think that some of them can be like, I think the forced proximity in one bed tropes can be very subjective because I've seen that and then I'm reading and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
One bed literally means that they are somewhere together and there's only one bed and they have to share it. Okay. You go to his apartment and he only has one bed is not a one bed scenario. It's his apartment. They're not, like, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is. I don't know. I just sometimes feel like it's overused.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think the one bed trope has been overdone.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about our favorite tropes. We talked about our favorite kinks. We talked about the kind of ones that we stay away from, where we draw the line in.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, darker the better for me. You know another trope? I don't even know if it's a trope. Is hockey a trope?
Yeah, it would be a trope.
I like sports.
Really? That
Yeah.
surprises me.
That's my like little contemporary like rabbit hole, I guess. I like sports. Maybe it's because I'm a Texas girl. I don't know.
I don't mind sports. I mean, I've read a few and I've enjoyed them, but like I would take, oh man, Cowboys ranch life, like anything involving that horses and that kind of thing. 100% is a trope that I cannot get enough of.
Okay. Now I
Like
know
I
how to
just
win you
read.
over.
Do what?
I said, now I know how to win you over.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like if yeah, like I would if I was so disappointed because there's supposed to be like these kinky cowboys written by Loretta James, I think it is. And I tried to read one of her books and it was so like the cowboy aspect of things was so cheesy, I couldn't do it.
Loretta, you said?
I think I think so. She's a very popular author for like cowboy romance.
Are you talking about Lorelai James?
Yep. Maybe. Hold on. Let me check.
The McKays?
I don't know. Yeah, Lorelai James, you're right. I tried to read Long Hard Ride, I think is the one that I tried to read.
No. All Jacked Up. Cowgirls Don't Cry is my favorite book by her. Favorite.
So like, should I give it another chance?
No.
Oh.
They are the McKays. They're not necessarily, they live on farms and stuff. So I read the first one, which was a menage, rough, raw, and ready, because it was a menage. The first few are not that great. The middle are semi good. In the end, yeah.
My favorite author, I haven't read a lot of them, but my favorite so far is Elsie Silver. She writes fantastic small town, rural romances.
You should probably read Linda Lee Miller.
Okay.
I've read a couple of her stuff. It's really good. Ooh, Cheryl Holt. Cheryl, I can give you a whole bunch of Westerns. I went through a Western phase a very long time ago.
I love that you had a Western phase. That makes me so happy.
I have all kinds of phases.
Yeah.
I'm not as slim pickings as I was before because, you know, like you read one thing and then like you read the whole thing by the author. And then now I just read whatever piques my interest. And I sometimes go through phases of, if I like this book by this author and they have like 20 back
list.
Thank you. Stories.
You're welcome.
I'll go devour them. Now, the problem is if what I'm reading, so if I read something right now and they have 20 backlists and I read that, but the next book and whatever I'm currently reading doesn't come out for like another 6 months, the odds of me ever coming back to that author are very slim.
Yeah, that's
It's
something
really hard.
That's something I found that I'm really struggling with. Now, granted, part of it was on purpose. Like, I have not read the latest Fire and Flesh book or the latest by JLA or the latest Plated Prisoner book by Raven Kennedy because they were supposed to be the last books and they weren't. So I just decided to wait for both books, like for the series, to be finished before going back to it. But there have been other books that, like, the next one has come out and I haven't gotten back to it.
Yeah. I mean, I will eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
It's just, yeah. Okay, so we talked about our favorites, our least favorites, threw in a little caveats here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully people aren't drunk because I stopped saying boink. Surprise. What else should we touch on?
I think that's it. All right, so that wraps up our discussion on our favorite tropes and kinks. We bounced all over the place today, but that's okay. That's what happens. We would love to know what your favorite tropes and kinks are. Tag us in your Instagram stories at Bones of the Story, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the journey into the shadows of love, where dark romance stories come to light.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bones of the Story as much as we did. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us.
And to stay updated on all things dark romance, follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, ideas, or even your own dark romance stories with us. Drop us a line at bonesofthestory@gmail.com.
Remember, our next tantalizing episode is just around the corner, so keep your hearts open and your senses sharp.
Until then, embrace the darkness and let the stories continue to stir your deepest desires.
This is Misty
and Jen,
signing off
from Bones of the Story.